Harry and Meghan assisted Omid. Can I say WTF? Endgame is an absolute disaster. Where do Harry and Meghan stand in relation to this puppet of theirs? If Harry and Meghan do not denounce the poison in Omid Scobie's new book, we can only assume they endorse it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel.
In spite of all the provocation, and boy has there been a lot of it, Buckingham Palace so far has maintained their dignified silence on the latest revelations in Scooby-Doo's new book Endgame, which finally came out yesterday after weeks of carefully orchestrated leaks. And this is certainly the wisest course of action for the king and the rest of the family. To engage with something this ridiculous would only lend credence to Scooby-Doo's claims, dragging the royal family even deeper into this never-ending Harry and Meghan drama. We still don't know if that's going to change now that the Dutch edition appears to have accidentally revealed the identity of the supposed royal racist, who allegedly commented on the color of an unborn baby Archie's skin. One thing we know for sure, though, is that the hypocrisy Duke and Duchess need to let it be known where exactly they stand in relation to Scooby-Doo. They think they're being cute, being all coy about the truth of their connection to Scooby-Doo, but the more they do that, the more they lend credence to the idea that the toxicity in his book leads back to them. Harry and Meghan's silence is basically an endorsement of his status as their unofficial mouthpiece, and also an endorsement of all the petty, vicious, nasty accusations he makes. Let's just name a few in no particular order. The Princess of Wales was liked by the late Queen on account of her allegedly pliable nature, which led to her being described as Katie Keene. That's not a nickname I have ever heard applied to Catherine, although before she got married to William, she was described, rather unfairly, as Weighty Katie, giving the idea that she had an easier ride than Meghan. But that's not all. Apparently, Catherine is just a part-time royal on account of the fact that she likes to spend time with her 3 young kids on school holidays. And she is also supposedly terrified of doing anything except grinning photo ops, which is pretty interesting considering that all Meghan seems to do these days is, oh, I don't know, grinning photo ops. I mean, seriously, at least we can say that the Princess of Wales does hers for charity, whereas Meghan just seems to spend most of her time posing alongside her celebrity friends, or rather people she wishes were her friends. But anyway, I guess that detail is not so important. The important point here is that this has got to stop. Either Harry and Meghan can denounce that ridiculous book as well as Scooby-Doo, or most people on both sides of the Atlantic are going to assume that, in the parlance of US political campaigns, they fully endorse Scooby-Doo's message. Why would they associate themselves with somebody like that? Well, that's anybody's guess. Maybe because, having attacked the royal family in this full frontal assault through their interview with Oprah, the Netflix docuseries, and Harry's book Spare, the world still has not bought their one-sided account hook, line, and sinker. So perhaps Scooby-Doo's book is one last throw of the dice, a desperate attempt to reclaim the narrative in the War of the Windsors, which recently has just shown how useless Meghan and Harry really are. Truth be told, the royal family is doing great without them. In a perfect world, Harry and Meghan would have remained working royals, and I'm sure they could have made a positive contribution, but since they decided to leave and made sure to trash the place on their way out, the institution they hate so much and want to attack hasn't fallen apart like they were hoping. If anything, it's just gotten stronger, and that's in spite of what was arguably one of the most difficult setbacks to have happened to it in decades, the passing of Queen Elizabeth. While the Duke and Duchess of Hypocrisy have been whining from their Montecito McMansion, the rest of the royals have just quietly gotten on with their good work, apparently drawing closer together in adversity. The King and William, who it has been said have not always gotten along, seem to be much more aligned these days. And I think that could have something to do with the fact that they have both been on the receiving end of Prince Harry's ire, as have their wives. If in the past William felt his loyalties were in any way divided between his father and his younger brother, well, the latter's horrible behavior has put paid to that, especially the way Prince Harry has attacked both Queen Camilla and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, portraying them almost like the ugly, evil stepsisters to Meghan Cinderella. That really upset both King Charles and Prince William, and I can't blame them one bit. And it could have also played a part in bringing Camilla and Catherine a bit closer. There is a new warmth to their relationship. It seems like they've really gotten close, and you could see that at this year's Remembrance Sunday service at the Cenotaph. And they really do have a lot in common. Their support is so important to the success and well being of their husbands. So not only do they have a shared experience, they also understand exactly what is required of them. And they undertake every single assignment with grace, dignity, and consistency. And this could be what is at the core of this endless sniping, either straight from the horse's mouth or through agents like Scooby Doo, that continues to come from Team Sussex in spite of the passage of time. It is astonishing when you think about it. It has been almost 4 years since they left, demanding that their privacy be respected, but at the same time invading the privacy of everybody else in their family, including the late Queen. By now, you would think Meghan and Harry would have moved on. After all, they've got the freedom, they've got the independence they claimed they wanted. But something has them stuck in the past. And I think the answer is pretty obvious. After they pitched a fit and stormed out, in their arrogance and their total lack of self awareness, they thought the royal family would never make it without them, that it would just fall apart. So they figured that without their stardust, it would just become an old, dull institution that was not interesting to anybody. But the ugly reality for them is that exactly the opposite has occurred. The monarchy is only doing better. It seems like their exit really energized the monarchy. The king has stepped into his mother's shoes with solemnity, and he and Camilla have confounded the naysayers by showing themselves to be diligent and hardworking and respectable. The Prince and Princess of Wales have done amazing in their jobs, and the less prominent royals like Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, have also stepped up to the plate. Everybody is doing great without the help of Harry and Meghan, and I'm sure that upsets them to no end. It was not supposed to be like that after all. They were supposed to ride off into the sunset, and then everything was supposed to fall apart. But it hasn't really worked out that way. And so that could explain these latest desperate, laughable character assassinations from Scooby Doo. Are Meghan and Harry trying to stay relevant? Well, of course, but nobody's interested. The world has moved on. We've all got better things to focus on. The only people this book succeeds in hurting are Meghan and Harry themselves, and not only because it makes them seem so petty and so bitter, so jealous of people who have succeeded through hard work and persistence where they failed, but also because, and this is the really pitiful part, because the longer they keep on silently endorsing these attacks, the deeper the rift between Prince Harry and the rest of the family becomes. And the longer this goes on, the less likely they will ever make peace. And you, what do you think about this news? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. Don't be afraid to like and share this video with anybody else who would enjoy it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.